Hello Capricorn. Welcome to my channel. As always, thank you for being here, and if this reading resonates with you, like, share, and subscribe, please. And we're going to do your 2019 tarot spread. We're going to use these cards throughout the year, so we'll have them as overall energies for your monthlies. And let's get started. I actually had started doing your reading and then had some crazy stuff come up. So I'm doing it all over. So it'll be interesting for me to see if anything is the same. Oh my gosh, come on now. If anything is the same, if the energies are the same, or if we are having a totally different spread. So I've already shuffled the cards before. Give it one more. Fun, so I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, oh, ready to go. January, 6 of Cups for Capricorn. Okay, I'm gonna let those down. Okay, so we've got it could be some nostalgia. You were looking back. Maybe you had a really like bittersweet or very sweet New Year's Eve. But we're looking back. So January, we're looking back at the past with a nostalgic feeling. There's this, it's like a sugar, a sweetness in the mouth about it. So it could mean, I mean, we sometimes look at this as like a past person coming back. We'll see how it all plays out. But I like to keep in mind that really the cards are about our own individual experience. And if people play out what needs to be played out for us, great. But really, we can look at the cards as how these energies play out for ourselves. We can play these cards by ourselves. We don't need any help from anybody else, is what I'm saying. So the 6 of Cups is us having, so we're having a nostalgic feeling of looking back, okay? So that's a nice way of starting. I don't mind starting January that way. Okay, let's see what comes up for February for Capricorn. 2 of Pentacles. So there's a balancing act. There's a dance that's happening in February. It's a 2 for the second month of the year, which I think is nice. So you're basically keeping 2 balls in the air. Great job for you, Capricorn. You are the earth sign, so this is your suit. You are such a structured and solid foundation for the rest of our signs. So, you know, Capricorns are unfortunately misunderstood a lot because, you know, you carry the weight, I think, of the whole zodiac on your shoulders. And so for you, balancing anything makes complete sense because you just carry it all. Now, one of these is in the air. So one in particular has not kind of fallen its way towards you. So you've got a couple of things coming up. Because it's Pentacles, I will say that it's either work, health, or body related. So you could be choosing between or balancing health related ideas, like you've got a cold, and you also are trying to work out more, you know. So how do you balance between not feeling good but going to the gym? Or if it's a work thing, you've got a new project coming in that hasn't quite landed yet, but you still haven't quite been able to let go and finish up the old one. So it's just about to be switched over. Okay, you see how that works out. So that's going to be your February. March, let's see what's coming up for March for Capricorn 2019. The Knight of Cups. Now it comes out reversed. Oh, I've just realized I wasn't showing you the cards yet. Okay, so there's your Knight of Cups. I love him. He's so sweet. He's dreamy. Now I keep in mind that it comes out in reverse, but I like to flip it for the overalls, mostly because we put the negatives and the positive spin on things. There's information to be gleaned across the board, so we'll look at all of the options. So the Knight of Cups, Knights, you know, this is an energy of coming in swiftly, right? There's, you know, it's not the fastest moving knight, but it is a knight. So he's coming in. It's interesting that this is a fish, so he's swimming in. The cups are your water signs, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. That was great. I just blinked out. So, and they're carrying emotions, right? So there's this swift carrying of emotion coming towards you, or you are embodying this energy, okay? So something's got an emotional spin to it in March. Now, I'm feeling like it's going out. So I feel like this is you putting an emotion out in the world, okay? It's carrying on this blue color from February. So we'll see how this plays out. But I feel like it's you putting yourself out there. Good for you. Oh my gosh, Capricorn. I think this is amazing. This is good. I like the way that this reading's turning out for you so far. So April for Capricorn, 7 of Swords. I'm going to flip it again. Came out upside down. So we're moving away towards something. You're moving away, actually, the last bit was, you know, this Knight of Cups energy. So if this was a person, you're moving away from them. Now, here's the thing about the 7 of Swords is that you're wrapping it up and you're moving on. We can look at it as deceit. We can look at it as devious, but we don't have to. It's really about not being able to take all of the burden, right? So you don't have to take it all with you. You're taking what you want or what you can, and you're moving forward. And you're leaving what you don't want behind. That's all. Now, it can be devious because of other situations, but you know, we'll see how that all plays out, okay? But for the most part, and this was one of the cards that came up in your reading the last time anyway, it feels like you're just moving forward. You're just moving away from something that you don't want. We will see what you're moving away from when we clarify it. Okay, so now we're moving to the May for Capricorn. Judgment. Well, you're moving away for something to just come right back at you. Okay, so maybe you've moved away from it, and if there wasn't any deceit, it's gonna come up right here, right? It's gonna be laid out for all to see, okay? This is the reckoning. This is, you know, I look at this as the positive tower, right? So the tower brings things crashing down. Judgment shows us how things are as they are. It kind of crashes things upwards. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but it's a reckoning, you know. It's a looking at things as they are, knowing that it's greater than us, and moving through it, okay? It's also, it can be a reconciliation, but it's, you know, we have to revisit things sometimes, that's all. So whatever's been left behind, we might need to be revisiting here in May, okay? We'll see how it comes in May. So now we're looking for June for Capricorn. The 9 of Swords. What's going on, Capricorn? So we've got some pain, and this is getting to be summertime, so we should be lightening up by this point, but there's a little bit of pain that's kind of keeping you down. It's kind of it's anguish. That's what it's feeling like, okay? So perhaps what came out, this reckoning, is caused some anguish here in June. Now it's a span of a month, so we'll see what comes up from it, but there's definitely some suffering. I don't think that you have to be here long. I think that you can choose to move through it if you want to. It's this card is, there's actually no swords in the card, it's just looking up at the moon. So I think that this can be the dark night of your soul, and you can choose how long you want to stay there, okay? Okay, let's see what's in July. The Tower. Well, that's what's going on, is we're going to stay in that dark night, and we're going to have to be shaken out by the universe. So the universe is going to come in and say, get out of this. Let's shake this up. Let's make things move. The towers don't have to be negative. Having things shifted for you can be so helpful. Sometimes things can be a burden. and we can't see our way out of it. And so when the universe comes through and pulls the rug out from underneath us, what that does is it forces us to fall down and to get back up, right? We have no choice but to get back up from that place. But we couldn't see how to get out of that situation. We had to have something else come in and take it away from us, okay? Or move us through it, or transform it for us. So the Tower is moving us through whatever this reckoning and this pain and this anguish has caused us, okay? We're moving through this. Because this is coming after all of this, I don't think that we're suffering because of this Tower. I think this Tower is coming because of our suffering, okay? Because of your suffering, we're gonna move through it in July. Let's see where we are. This is your half birthday. Let's see where we are for August. It's an 8 of Pentacles. It came out reversed, so we'll talk about it. Okay. So we've moved through it all. The Tower's shooken us, and now we're back to where you are solid, okay? You are solid in your suit. You are of the earth. You are, this, in my opinion, one of the strongest earth signs. You, so much weighs upon you. You hold so much dear. You make space for so much. And so the 8 of Pentacles is really the mastery of you being an earth sign. You mastering your stability and the integral knowing of the status and the structure that you have built for yourself in your life, and also for the rest of the people in your life to depend upon, okay? So this is, everything's washed away, and what's left is the beauty of you, the truth and the authority that you are the strongest, and you will survive, and you have survived, and you can be relied upon, and so can your energy, okay? So that's beautiful. Lovely August. Let's look at September. Page of Wands. Now, page came out in reverse, so we'll talk about it. Okay. So the pages are still learning to become knights. And so they are early in their development, and specifically the Page of Wands wants to charge in and make changes, take action, do the things, and sometimes trips oneself up. Sometimes doesn't think about the steps that it takes before it moves forward. So we're looking at September. You've been in this very reserved status place of like, this is the authority that I am. I have mastered myself. I have mastered my my path. I have gotten through this reckoning. I've gotten through this Tower. I am still here. I have survived. I want to move forward. And sometimes when we're ready to move forward, we move too fast. And we trip. So be careful here. Just be careful. There's nothing, awful about it. Just know that you don't have to move that fast, that things will happen. Change happens even with baby steps. Okay. So now we're looking at, this might be it. Yeah. So October, Queen of Wands. So we moved from the Page to the Queen. Congratulations. So you've taken those baby steps, and now we're moving forward with the sublimeness of a queen. So there's some kind of action, some kind of new, it could be like a new job or new creative project, new pursuit along those lines that's happening here. You could be making a move in life, so physical moves. Anything that is about physicality and doing things is what Wands are all about. They are the fire signs, Leo, Sag, and Aries. So you've moved from acting without thinking to acting truthfully and not needing to think. How about that? So that is phenomenal for your October. Let's look at what happens in November. 9 of Pentacles. So you've now moved through all of these, and now you're back to the Pentacles, but this is the beautiful card of being, it's kind of like the 8 where you are happy with all that you have created. You feel like you are secure and stable in yourself and all that you have accumulated. You're sitting pretty. You're looking good. You're feeling good about yourself. This is your element, and this is exactly what you want to get to. Maybe the 10 can be coming forward, but the 9 feels good. And that is your November. So here's your December, the Knight of Swords, another fast-moving, swift, and swift talker. So we have some swift words coming. That's what I'm thinking of. Words that are coming out, some action because it's a night. So there's some movement forward with some communication happening in December. We'll see what that brings forward too. So overall, we've got this like really interesting development where there's some nostalgic sweetness that moves into a balance and like the playfulness of the cups here, your action of the cups. And then things start to get a little heavy here in April. And while you're moving away from something, you still have to face it. And the facing of it, the dealing with it, the reckoning of it brings some suffering. But the suffering ends here in July. And then we move swiftly and sweetly right back into your own element. So whatever this jumble is here, and we'll find out about it, it's very, 4 months at the total is what it's showing. And it's just a few bumps in the road, but nothing's crashing down. Yay! So, okay, let's clarify here. I'm clarifying with the Lenormand deck. This is the Gilded Lenormand. I love this one. It's beautiful. So let's clarify our 6 of Cups. So we are sweetly thinking about money. Of course you are. Oh, beautiful earth signs thinking about money. But so there's some nostalgia here about like the good sweet times of when everything was stable. There was abundance, and this could be more than just money, but the fish are abundance. So you're going to be thinking about life, the abundant life that once was in January, okay? And we're going to be doing January's pretty quickly here, so we'll figure out more. Okay, February, the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, 2 of Pentacles is coming quickly. So you're going to have to balance these things quickly. So you're going to have to think on your feet. This is a Dancer card, so you're going to have to move quickly and cut things out quickly. So if something's coming and you can't balance this, you can't juggle this, you're going to have to cut it. There's just no in between, just cut it, okay? So cutting things out in February. March, with our Knight of Cups, the Sun card, okay? So the sun might burn through this water, to be honest. But this night is moving so quickly, it's swimming so quickly, so it might get through, but here's what I'm thinking, is I think this is what's going to lead up to this, okay? So the sun is a beautiful card. It's the best, it's the most energizing card in the Lenormand. So it will bring an overall well-wishing sense. So like if you're waiting for, if this is a lover, if this is the energy of your relationship, it's going to bode well in March. However, what I'll say is because the sun can burn up water, like there's this evaporated aspect to it, this is what could be leading here. It could be so much of a good thing that it burns up a little quickly. It's like burning the candle on both ends, okay? So temperance here, but balance these energies out so that maybe we can soften the blows of what's coming up, okay? All right, April, what's coming up? 7 of Swords and the Lilies. Oh, the Lilies is a really interesting card. Okay, so it has to do with antiquity. It has to do with sensuality. And also older people in general, okay? So you could be walking away from something that is sensual, that you've known for a while. It could be, this nature could be within yourself. It doesn't have to be a relationship necessarily. Again, I think, Tarot is really just telling us about ourselves. So like you could be walking away from the sensual nature of yourself. Maybe you decide to be celibate for a while. Maybe you decide to study Tantra. Maybe you're moving away from a place that is is not as well studied, and you want to move to a place that is more studied and that is, you know, of antiquity. That's definitely going to be coloring and flavoring the Seven of Swords. So you don't want to fight anymore. Could be about this. We'll see what happens when we get to April. What's this Judgment here in May? The Moon. Okay, so we've got some emotive things happening in May. We have some things coming to light. We are no longer deceived. The Judgment's coming in to wash all of that away. Okay, the reckoning is coming, and it's coming because there was this things that were not clear, things that we weren't really set into our intuition. We weren't really trusting ourselves. So the reckoning's coming through and saying, nope, you have to, you know, square back to number one. Who's number one? You are, Capricorn. You have to follow your own instincts and your intuition and get connected to your emotions. That's in May. What's happening in June? Nine of Swords. What's clarifying that? The Anchor. So there's something about, and this is interesting, there's something about stability that is creating this issue of grief, okay? Maybe you're feeling like you're tied down and you don't want to be. You're trying to pull that anchor up out of the sea, but it is just stuck in the seabed. You want to move forward, and you are suffering because you can't. Suffering because that weight is there. Usually the Anchor card makes things, it brings that stability that people want. However, because there's suffering involved, even though you're an earth sign and you love stability, it's going to be a really interesting month to see how that develops in June. That anchoring, what's anchoring you down and what's keeping you held into your discomfort. Okay, and then that tower is going to come. What's that tower going to tell us? Well, this is what's interesting. Is I was kind of talking about this as if it was the cross. So the cross is about burdens. Okay, so there's some type of burden that is weighing you down, both in June and July, that it's gonna just get crossed out. I don't know what this. It's hard to know what this is about at this point. But just know that whatever this weight is, this heavy weight between these 2 months, that's going to cause some grief, it's going to get crashed down. So the weight will be lifted, okay? It's going to bring you to these beautiful places. That makes sense, at least to me. Okay, into August for our Eight of Pentacles. The letter, okay? So we've got some written words happening. The mastery of you, this is what we talked about. The mastery of you, the Eight of Pentacles, that happens after this tower moment. Writing in August. So text messages, maybe there's a book that needs to be born from you. Maybe since we're talking work, Pentacles, if you work online, then there's going to be a lot of written work happening online between you and supervisors or some of your team members, back and forth. Longer, and maybe it's that you need to communicate things even more detailed than you ever have before. But that is the mastery of who you are, because you're able to be that detail-oriented Capricorn. And we love you for that. Yes. Okay, September. This page, why is this page here? Oh, the page is here to whip us. This is a repetition card. This is one where we beat ourselves up sometimes too. So again, you had started this, you wanted to keep moving, you wanted to get moving quickly. And it's, you're going to start and stop and start and stop. Just take, remember we were talking about taking baby steps is okay. So these are going to be giant leaps, and you're going to do a few of them. in September. So you're going to try these leaping forward. It's like jumping 2 stairs when really you just need to walk 1 stair at a time. Okay. So just know that that's coming up in September. We'll see more when that happens. October, this Queen of Wands. Now we are going to move upwards. How do we have this Queen? The stars. Destiny, beauty, your wishes coming true. So all of that is happening here in October. Okay. So even though you've started and stopped in September, you found the stride in October. So October is divinely guided. You are number one with the universe. You are moving forward and creating things that are true to you. Okay? November, 9 of Pentacles. This is where you've created those beautiful things and you're feeling good about you. And the Tower. So be careful here in November. This is about structure, the Tower is, but it also can mean that we isolate ourselves, okay? So even if you feel good about you, try not to isolate yourself. Don't make yourself holier than thou. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like Capricorn would do that. Also know that the rest of the world benefits from you and your presence in the world. So when you have done a good job, know that we will see that and we will give you the accolades for that. You don't need to hide. You don't need to hold yourself within and give yourself those accolades. Receive those from us because we want to give them to you as well. And if you go and hide, it's like, where did Capricorn go? How am I supposed to tell Capricorn how I feel when Capricorn's gone? Where did Capricorn go? So hang out with this Capricorn. When you feel this good, don't worry about us. We want to see you in this good place too, okay? So also with the structure and stability of authority, that might be what is bringing you back to you feeling good, is that you are truly in yourself working in that role. Maybe it's a university job or it's a government job. You might have brought yourself back to that place. So we'll see more about it in November. Okay, in December, Knight of Swords. Oh, love. That was surprising. So this swift communication that's coming in might just be a love message in December, okay? Now, if you're already with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, they might be professing love. It's not the commitment, it's not like the ring, so there's not necessarily a wedding, but there is definitely a deepening of partnership that happens here. There could be just a swiftness of this word coming through. So December looks really promising for that type of, oh yes, that type of stuff. Okay, so now I want to get you one final card, which is from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I love this deck. It's beautiful. It's there's so much to it. There's no way that I will master this anytime soon. So let's get one card for your overall for Capricorn. Just one card, please. Thunder. Look at that. Thunder. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see what it is. It's a 5-6, so it's an 11 master number. Hey. Hey, master number, Capricorn. I hope you guys feel good after this reading. Hope it's resonating. And please comment, even if you watch this throughout the year. I'd be really interested to see how this all develops, okay? Even beyond the monthlies, we'll see how this goes. Okay, Thunder. Hope you guys can see this. Legends speak of great thunder beings who live in the sky and call for your attention when great occurrences are meant to happen in the world. They warn when tensions in a situation are called upon to be released. Their presence in your reading reminds you of the dramatic moments in life that change everything. Both awesome and frightening, when thunder arrives, it's also a wake-up call, one that you will not soon forget. When thunder comes into your reading, it refers to a big dramatic change that feels like a herd of wild bison on the run. You feel it right through your bones, and you know that you are powerless to influence whatever events have been set in motion. This is the time to be prepared for anything. Your life is an adventure, and wonderful opportunities are arriving now. The trick is to learn to run with them. Qualities that you'll need now are more than ever are flexibility, dexterity, and a willingness to experience it all without dictating from where or in what form opportunities will come. Your destiny is arriving. Be ready. So I think what we're talking about is this tower moment that's going to happen in the middle of the year, this judgment, this reckoning that's happening. This is making it sound very dramatic. And again, it's important to look at things with the weight that they can be. So yes, expect that it could be dramatic, but at the same time, it's all in what we decide it to be. So if life creates an event and we decide that it's going to be dramatic, it is. But if it creates an event and we decide that it's going to be an adventure, it is. And I think that's really what this card's kind of talking to us about, is that something's big a-coming, and how do you want to take it? Do you want to ride it? Do you want to dance with it? Or do you want to get thrown around in the waves with it? That is the wrong metaphor because it's thunder, but ooh, I do love a thunderstorm. There's nothing like clearing the air with all those negative ions too. There's nothing like a good thunderstorm to clear out all of what's been building. So Capricorn, there's a lot that's been building for you this year. We're building, and then it comes crashing, and then you get to build again, and there's some beautiful love there in the end. So I so look forward to seeing how this works out for you monthly. Let me know if you'd like to have a private reading. All of the information is in the box below.